Hey, what's up, y'all? It's G Rabs. I'm back, and the caption is recording music in another country. Um, I would say that 80% of my catalog was recorded in another country, and then 50% of that was recorded in Playas de Tijuana at Provision Studios. The other 40 was probably recorded at my personal home studio or portable home studio. And then I recorded with like a lot of different people at their spots, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like studio's a studio at the end of the day, you know, no matter how big it is, how small it is, how many plugins you have, how many plugins you don't have. I mean, me personally, I just need the basics, you know, porque I don't trip on all that. I got engineers I send my shit to, and they mix it, they lace my shit up, you know? But I remember my boy always used to tell me, he's like, nah, you get bigger with fucking Olympic weights. And I used to be like, I mean, what's the difference? If you're lifting 100 pounds of Olympic weights and you lift 100 pounds of the other shit, non-Olympic weights, you know, you're still lifting 100 pounds, but you know what I'm saying? But what I really wanted to talk about was me recording in Colombia, you know, letting you know what it was like and shit. Basically, it was like, let me think. Well, I'm gonna tell you how it all went down, basically. So, I was out there in Colombia shooting for this movie called Dominique, where I played this corrupt, like, cop, agent. De hecho, my name was El Agente Chavo. And, you know, like, so I had my schedule, and not every day I was shooting. You know, there was days where they'll send us out to train. There's days where, like, you meet up with the like vocal coach, so you can, you know, sound Colombian and shit. Cause even in Colombia, it's like Mexico. Like, la gente de Sinaloa tiene a different. They sound different, and they got different, you know, like. You know, they don't sound like the cats from Michoacán, or they don't sound like the fools from Guadalajara. They definitely don't sound like the fools from Chihuahua. Like, everybody got a different way of speaking. In Colombia's the same, you know. Los de Medellín, heavy accent. You know, Bogota, they're real well-spoken. You know, Cali's different. Cartagena's different. You know, and so, you know, we'll go do that. And while we was down there, I guess I was posting shit up, and then my boy Bugsy, he finds out that I'm down there. Actually, I was in Chia, which is like 30-40 minutes away from Bogota, because it was like central to where, like, you know, there was a set that was built over here, and then we're shooting in the mountains called Suezca, and then, you know, that was kind of central to where we had to be at. So he finds out that I'm over there. And, you know, he hits me up, me marca el WhatsApp, hey, ¿qué onda, you over there in fucking Bogota? And I'm like, yup. And he's like, I'm gonna pull up on you. What's your days looking like? So, you know, I have my schedule right there. Y le digo, look, these 3 days I'm off. So he's like, ahorita te regreso la llamada, I'll call you back right now. So what he does, he books a flight. But this fool wasn't in LA. This fool was in Mexico City hanging out con sus padrinos, you know, because Bugsy's also involved in the Afro-Cuban religions. So hits me back, hey, I'm a land. He sends me the fucking screenshot of his plane tickets, when he's taking off, when he's landing, all that shit. So yo ya sabía. So, and him, he was just gonna get an Airbnb, you know. Y entonces, so the day comes. Early, I go to the gym. I went and had breakfast at this one spot I always used to go to, where this lady will, like, hook me up this fucking fire-ass omelet, fucking exotic fruits, pinche licuado, some exotic shit, and chocolate chip croissant. So that was like my little spot, right? So that happens. I'm texting this fool, because I know that when you land in Bogota, it takes about like anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours to get through customs. You know, you do the zigzag line, and then, you know, it takes a minute. So around that time, más o menos le empiezo a marcar al güey. I'm calling them, texting them, no response, nothing. So I'm like, man, what the fuck's up? So later, me empieza a marcar un número, a Colombian number, you know? And I'm like, damn, it's gonna be from the set. They're gonna call me that they need me to come in. So I was like, man, should I pick this shit up or not? Because I was planning on hanging out with my boy. So I didn't answer it, right? So next thing you know, I get a text and from a random number, and he's like, hey, it's me, Bugs. Se me cayó el teléfono and the whole fucking screen cracked, so it's blacked out. No, I can't see nothing. I can't even get an Uber. I can't get shit. He goes, de casualidad, I memorized your number, so that's how I'm getting at you. He's like, fool, if there's any way that you can, fucking come shoot me up. I'm at the airport. So, you know, I go on the app, I go on Uber and shit. Fucking, and it's crazy because in Colombia, it's fucking illegal. Uber's illegal, or they're not like sanctioned by the country, like, but that shit's popping over there, you know, the Uber game. They got some other shit too. And then, so I jump in this Uber, right? And it's like this young kid. I say young kid because he's probably like 21, 22. I jump in and shit, and I could tell it smelled like weed. So entonces, I'm like, hey man, you smoke weed? And he starts spraying shit, like, and I'm like, nah, it's cool, bro, like, making it worse and shit, like. Y entonces, so you know, we're chopping it up, and I'm telling them that we're going to the airport, you know, and I'm telling them like, hey, but I don't want to get another Uber, you know, so, you know, we're trying to figure out how to do it and how he can make more money, you know, instead of like going through the app, you know, some cash shit. So yeah, we finally get to the airport. I see, I see Bugs over there, so I kind of like wave him down, like, hey. He makes his way to the car. We put his bags in the car or whatever, you know. So we start driving out el aeropuerto se llama El Dorado. Y we exit the fucking airport, and we exit the airport and we go to a gas station like right there, you know, and it's sort of like Mexico vibes because there's military fools right there posted up at the gas station. So, you know, homeboy fucking pulls out his little debit card or whatever. He se la da la lady, and then the shit's coming back that this fool ain't got no money on his fucking card. He's like, try it again, nothing. So we like, hey, don't trip, we'll fill up your tank. So we fill this shit up, and we're like, look, we're gonna fill up your tank, but we want you to be our personal Uber. Take us everywhere. And that fool's like, fuck it. I'm like, man, we're gonna take you to eat. Because El Bugsy, I forgot what kind of fucking phone he got. He got like a Google phone or some shit. But he had been, at the airport, he ended up purchasing another phone, like a throwaway, but it was a Samsung, I remember. So he was calling these places to see if he could buy a screen and switch over all his data from his phone into the fucking little Galaxy he had bought. So, you know, the dude's like, fuck it, I'm game. So entonces and Bogota is like always like kind of like sprinkling. It's always overcast. The sun will come out, go away, rain a little bit. It's like that. It was like that the whole month that I was out there, you know. Y entonces Bugs has some like address and shit, some location that they told him to come through, and it's all up in the hood. We're driving, and even the Uber driver is like, oh shit, man, we're going all up in, you know, estamos metiendo aquí, you know, into like, you know, dangerous waters. And then it starts pouring, it's raining, se baja el Bugs, and it's a little fucking cell phone shop, like some Mickey Mouse shit, like like how they have it in Mexico, like Telcel, where they just sell chips and you could buy a cell phone, but it's not like a fucking, like a main spot, So I'm telling this fool, like, man, fool, fuck this place. Let's go to another place. I had been to this big ass mall over there, like this clean ass, like 3-4 story mall, some like US shit, and in there they had a big ass fucking Samsung store. So I'm like, man, we're better off going there, like a distributor. So we head over there, fucking we get there, they're like, yeah, we could do this, but it's gonna take about an hour. So we leave the phone, we go to this restaurant towards the end of the mall that I had discovered before, and it was a Mexican restaurant, but it wasn't like really like Mexican food. It was bomb, but it wasn't like authentic, So entonces ya yo me había comido me había chingado unos tacos de birria, consomé, some beer. So we're like, and Bugsy's vegetarian, so he don't eat like that. So he got to custom make his shit, whatever. We go back. He ends up getting his phone. It's a long ass story. He gets his phone, whatever. So we're talking, and he's like, man, we should go to the fucking studio, record a song, and shoot a fucking video. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So yeah, towards the end of the night, he heads towards this fucking Airbnb. I go back to the hotel. So the day on the third day, that was day 1, day 2, I don't know what I did. Day 3, I start searching for fucking, I start Googling recording studios in Chia. Nothing. And then the ones I would call were giving me like a fucking hard time. Like, they were kind of like, they had like trust issues. They were just like, I know they heard my accent. Este güey es mexicano. Should we trust them? They were thinking I'm fucking gonna ramsack the fucking, the studio or some shit. I don't know. So entonces I kind of like gave up, because, I wasn't feeling what none of these fools were talking about. So le marco al Uber driver, right? And I'm like, hey, because that fool, he was going to university to be a chef. So le digo, I hit him up and I'm like, parce. And I'm like, hey, does any of your homeboys have a fucking studio? And he's like, you know what? I don't know of any, but I got a homeboy that sings reggaeton, and that fool knows. Let me link us up. So he links us up. I get on the phone with this reggaeton fool, right? And this dude's like laid back, chill, and he's just like, te va a costar 50,000 pesos la hora. And I was like, fine. At the end, it ended up costing us 100,000 pesos la hora, which was like, I want to say about $25 an hour when you do the conversion. Y entonces I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So then Uber driver comes and picks me up. We go soup up fucking reggaeton, and then we're on the way to studio. Yo le marco al Bugs y le mando la address, and I'm like, meet us there at this time. So he's like, all right, cool. So entonces we get there, and on the way there I had hit up Bandit. I'm like, hey, send me a gang of beats. We're on the way to the studio. So Bandit emails me a gang of beats. I don't hear them. We get to the studio, and then first one we pull up, I'm like, that's it, this is the one. So, oh yeah, the day before I had wrote a verse, más o menos, 2 of them. I left some parts open, so I had leeway to like, fuck around with the beat if need to, So entonces I dropped my verses. I ended up dropping 2 verses. Reggaeton does the hook, does the intro, and does like a second hook on the outro. And we're just waiting for Bugs. I'm like, man, where the fuck you at, fool? And he sends us the pin. This fool, he typed in the address wrong, and he ended up like, we're like on 100 and something, and this fool was like on like at the beginning of the numbers and shit, somewhere over there. So I show it to and now it's like 5 or 6 o'clock. So I show it to the dude in the studio, and he's like, man, your fucking boy. He sends us a pin, as a matter of fact. He's like, hey, your fucking boy is in the middle of the hood. Like, it's dangerous right there. Y el pinche Bugs andaba todo blinged out, diamond earrings, you know, gold chains. So le marco el way, I'm like, hey, fool, over there they say this phrase, like, when you're flexing, when you're trying to show off, estás dando mucha papaya. So I tell that fool, hey, wey, ahí no andas dando mucha papaya. You know, it's full of jack boys. And then, so I give him the right address, and he's like, man, there's so much traffic. You know, the little GPS, you can see the little red line and everything. He's like, man, it's gonna take me another hour to get over there. Because in Bogota, it's like Mexico City. It's a gang of fucking traffic. They even got some shit where, like, on Tuesdays, all the cars with, like, even numbers could drive. And the ones with odd numbers can't drive. And then it switches on the next day. Some shit like that. So ya llega el Bugs. The song's already knocking. And this fool's just like, when he hears the reggaeton spit that hook, Bugsy just, you know Bugsy, that fool's like a fucking double-edged sword. That fool's just like, you know, it gets him excited. That fool, he ends up dropping his shit. You know, we had brung some beers, was sipping a little bit, and I had a joint, but I didn't want to light it till we were done, you know. And then, you know, we had went to some ATM so we could get cash to pay these fools. And then we went to this studio where it was really like a 5 or 6 bedroom townhouse or condo, right? But they converted every bedroom into a studio. It was clean. This shit was, I'm gonna post up a video on my fucking Instagram so you can see what it's like, me going up the stairs and shit like that. You know, so, and then they were like, once we were there, I was like, can we check out the studios? The other ones, we're checking them out. And then I seen a better one that I like. And then we get that one, and they're like, hey, pero this one's 100,000 pesos la hora. We're like, whatever, you know, let's do this shit. And again, that's why I say, like, a studio's a studio no matter where you go or what, you know. I just want to be more comfortable. And then so the engineers, you know, they were tripping out on us, you know, like, all right, me, yo soy mexicano, el Bugsy is guanaco, that fool Salvadorian. And then we got the fucking reggaeton fool que es el de ahí, you know, Cundinamarca, Chía, Bogota, Colombia, you know. Crazy little mix-up. We finished the song, fucking, like, fuck it, let's just shoot a cell phone video. We're shooting videos and rapping and this and that. Then we end up outside, and then we're just hanging out, smoking that joint. And then, you know, studio guys, we're out of there, you know. And then we're like, fuck it, let's go for a cruise. And as far as the song is called La Vida es Dura, you could check that shit out on Spotify. It's me, my boy Bugsy, and the Colombian homie que se llama Satiro. He's on my shit. If you go on my Instagram, my social media platforms, I post this shit up, you could find him. So, like, we're driving, and it's man, Bogota's fucking beautiful. It's sort of like the Wilshire area, like going into Beverly Hills mixed with like some Mulholland Drive, like what we were going through. It's like we're running out through the back. We're on the north side of Bogota. It's grimy on the south side of Bogota. So we're making it. We're headed to like fucking Bugsy's fucking Airbnb, and we're bumping. I'm playing them songs from the Reset. We're just playing a bunch of shit, and we're just, you know, we're chilling. I'm telling this fool, tell the Uber driver like, hey, quiero ir al pinche barrio, quiero meterme a la favela, like I want to go in, I want to see some shit. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. So el güey nos lleva. I mean, I just wanted to breathe it and see what it's like. And when he finally did take us there, that shit looked like fucking MacArthur Park in 1990, 1991. Like in the little off streets of all the hoods that are right there surrounding MacArthur Park. That's what the shit looked like. That shit looked, esa madre estaba hood. You know, but it just gave me ideas. Like, man, I want to shoot a fucking video right here. You know? And this is my story about recording in another fucking country. That was when I recorded in Colombia. All the rest of the shit I recorded in Mexico. And SK Mob, we out this bitch.